Kishan doesn't make sense because this topic doesn't make sense.
People are Singapore's biggest asset.
At this point, I'd just like to remind Thomas that the last round they voted the white guy.
Welcome back to Master Debaters. Nice to see you come back to Master Debate with us. I am Sylvia from Night Owl Cinematics.
I'm Hirzie from somewhere.
I'm Joel from Debate Association Singapore.
Welcome to Master Debater, the show where we fight about not so important topics in battles of debates. Every episode, 3 people from each team will present their stance going up 1v1 against their opponents in a speech round, followed by a quick-fire rebuttal round. Judges will decide which team won, and the losers will have to vote out one of their own. But the judges also have a revival card for the season, which they can use to bring one speaker back. Points will be given to the winners, as well as the best speakers of the episode, voted by you. The 6 players with the most points will go to the final episode, where we will crown the Master Debater. Who will survive? Who will break down? Who will be the true Master Debater?
So today's topic is a very fun one, okay? Students should be paid to go to school. So we have red team who is for and blue team who is against. But judges, what do y'all think first of this? Are you for? Are you against?
I'm not in school anymore, so it doesn't matter.
Would you have liked it though?
For sure, who doesn't like to get paid in school? Like, hello. But whether it's sensible or not is what the teams will discuss today.
Right. And Joel, you're still in school, right?
Yeah.
Right. So what are you like? Tell me your biasness. Is it like for red team or blue team?
Yeah, I'm clearly going for like being paid, so I guess red. It is what it is.
Ooh. Okay. So it's gonna be a very exciting one because I'm against.
Oh.
Because it's very expensive lah. Yeah, so we will hear the teams out right now.
Round 1.
I'm not ready, but yeah, let's do it. It doesn't make logical sense. Teachers need to be paid, okay? Buildings need maintenance. Students, where are we get the money from? I don't know. It doesn't make sense for financial ecosystem, right? And are we cutting pay from the teachers? I have no idea. And the school would have to close down. Crazy. And you know what? The teachers will be jealous of students because students need to do the homework that teacher come up with. And what if they never do the homework? Crazy, right? Because they are still getting paid. Doesn't make sense to me. And then let me tell you a story about this friend of mine. Okay, the students might not properly understand the value of money. This friend of mine, his name is Nicholas. Last time he had the money and he go to the school bus, right? And then he go and give out the money to everybody just because he wanted to be cool. And that's an immature activity. And whatever we are doing right now, whatever we are talking about right now, it doesn't make sense. Just like the immature activity that he did in the school bus. Thank you very much.
Not impressed at all. Wow, let's go, Kishan. Let's go, Kishan.
Yes, school bus. Yes, I need to pay for school. What are we talking about here today? I'm so confused because I didn't study hard enough because I wasn't paid to go to school. Therefore, you can't even get your points across. Now, take it this way, guys. If I was paid to go to school, I would have been a master debater, okay? I would have been such the best prime minister in Singapore if I was paid to study, but pay me in the form of positive reinforcement. With positive reinforcement, I'll be encouraged. Everybody will be encouraged to study hard. And now, I'll give you another point, okay, about positive reinforcement. Asian parents, what they always say time and time again, go to good school, get good grades, then you go to a good job, and therefore you'll make more money. To make more money, if I did that in school itself, I would then have fulfilled my parents' dreams and delivered them better.
In the beginning.
Oh, Kishan. Okay, just now you mentioned about positive reinforcement, correct? Now we are talking about everybody gets paid.
Yeah.
Tell me that.
That's a form of positive reinforcement. If I went to school and I got paid for my good deeds or paid for better grades or paid to do even better, and then that tells me, shit, if I do more, I get paid more. Wouldn't I do better than to not be like you?
So now we are talking about everybody. That means everybody could have use the money on drugs, sex, and maybe smoking. I have no idea. But let me ask you another question. Where do they get the money from? The government.
Thank you for saying the government is going to give my students the point. But look here, here's the point. Okay, Singapore has no natural resources. What we have is our people. And if we can bring them up and pay them from the very beginning where it's education first, and this is what Singapore is about, we start there, we will be doing better.
But you are now making the students going to Geylang to maybe do some dodgy shit just because they have the money. Tell me, how are you going to solve that problem?
I'm sorry, now you're isolating students and telling them they do bad things. We're talking about positive reinforcement. Time. Okay, you go to Geylang.
Okay, I have all the time. I don't think Kishan makes sense.
Okay.
Kishan doesn't make sense because this topic doesn't make sense. Okay.
Round 2.
Come on, Sisi! Okay, let me first address a legal issue over here. Paying students, you are enabling and representing child labor, okay? Paying students will mean the exchange of goods and services. Children will now have no sense of independence and learn that money is the only motivation to perform better in school. And that shouldn't be the case. Come on, it's going to result in a huge impact on the society. Even if you are paying students to go to school as a reward, Chrysan, that simply would not work, because a good example would be psychology study. Look at this graph, okay? Show them the graph, move closer, okay? The green one is actually not rewarded immediately. There's a tree red, okay? And then the orange one is rewarded every day. Blue one is no food reward at all. And as you can see from the graph itself, the green one is doing so much better when we reward them on day 11. 0 mistakes made, okay? The idea of paying students to go to school is simply flawed. We want people to live to their maximum potential, not cruise around being an average rat. And moreover, average humans, okay? We need to create impact. With motivation, we will be creating greater impact in the society. Thank you.
Go, baby.
Okay, let me transport everybody back to when you were 7. Think of it as a kid, right? What do you care about? The economy, inflation, taxes? No. When I was 7, all I cared about was getting a toy car, right? If we paid students to go to school, they'll be able to save this money to buy their own toy car, which will make them more motivated to study, especially if we put in performance-related bonuses that will enable them to earn more if they did better, right? You get A, you get $10, you pass, you get $2, you even go to school, you just get $1, right? The power of earning thus translates onto the students, and it's on them how much they earn. You know, when I was a kid, my favorite food was noodles, but every day my mother only needs 50 cents pocket money. Noodles is 60 cents, I cannot even buy noodles, right? And I'm not even mentioned iced Milo. So if I got paid, right, it will be a different story because I have financial freedom to eat what I like. Even 10 cents would make a difference. So you think I won't study harder for that bowl of noodles? Of course I will, because for kids, this instant gratification is what translates and fuels them into gaining more knowledge from an early age. You think teachers won't be happy that their students are more motivated to learn? Confirm happy, bro. So why not just give every kid a bit of money to help them learn better?
I'm ready. Okay, just now you mentioned that you will be very happy to get extra 10 cents just because you can buy the noodles, correct or not? You are encouraged by that. You will be then happy. That's why we are talking about motivation. You need to be motivated to earn that 10 cents to buy that noodles.
Money is not the only motivation that is allowed for students. You know, some of them are competitive. They just want to earn better grades for themselves, right? It's not just about the money. Money is an additional form of positive reinforcement.
I want to ask you a question. You are talking about getting paid, every student. If let's say I'm a good student, good for you. Yes, you get that 10 cents, you buy your noodles. But if you're a bad student, what's going to happen to your money? Do you know the sense of money or not? Don't know. We need to learn that, which is why we pay teachers to teach us that.
For the best students, it is more of a motivation for you to earn more. You see your friends, they can buy fishball noodle. I cannot. Would I go and work harder to earn that money? Yes, I will.
Correct. That's what I'm talking about. Motivation. You will work harder to get that 10 cents to buy noodles, which is what I'm talking about.
It is an additional form of motivation. People are Singapore's biggest asset. Why are we not investing in them?
Thank you. You can hug the bear. You can pass the bear.
Good job, good job.
Round 3.
At this point, I'd just like to remind Thomas that the last round they voted the white guy.
So let's see what salaries and allowances are. Right? We are paid for our worth and our output to society. So before we reach that point in knowledge and experience, why are people paid? It doesn't make sense because that's like paying for groceries in a supermarket that is just sitting there. You're not sure if it's good, you haven't seen it yet, but you need to pay. Simpler, right? Before you get an A, you're just studying, you ask your mom, hey, reward me. What? Welcome to the real world. That's not how it works. Results get reward, not effort. If you're rewarded for effort, guess who earns the most in the world? Farmers. They work 118 hours per week, highest number of working hours. So there are already paid students. These paid students are called scholarships. Scholarships, some even big enough to give allowances. They are exceptional people who have proven their experience and knowledge to be worth that amount of money. So if you're talking about me, a normal student, or you, and you think that you should be paid, then I have one word for you. Entitled. You are entitled.
Big words!
Easy game. That's my boss.
I don't even have my notes
Mama bitch!
It's very encouraging.
Students should be paid to go to school because it's a socially right thing to do. Why? It's about fairness. In this world, there are only two kinds of people who don't get paid for the work they do. Slaves, volunteers. Do we want our students to be like slaves?
No!
No. Do all students go to school voluntarily? No. You know that, I know that. No, we don't do that. So it's only fair for us to pay students. Why are students the only group of people who work so hard and not get paid, yet they bear so much pressure from the society, expectation from parents and their peers? Why? Okay, let's talk about economy. You say students don't contribute to economy. That is wrong. The fact that students go to school means their parents go to work. Their parents go to work, join the workforce, economy goes. Imagine students don't go to school. What happens? Parents, or at least one of the parents, can't go to work. And what does that mean to the economy? No economy. So it's only fair for us to pay our students because they contribute to the society. We don't want them to feel like slaves, and not all students voluntarily go to school.
Oh, my heartbeat. Oh, okay.
My heartbeat can feel your heartbeat.
You talk about fairness, all right? It is unfair for a slave to not be paid because he's providing a service. Teachers provide a service. Students are not providing a service, they're receiving a service. So you're already taking, you want to be paid more, you take even more, that's just greedy. So let's talk about the families then. You have to first study, then you can get paid the amount that parents do.
I'm not saying, we never said how much a student should be paid. We never said they should be paid the same as the teacher. We never said they should be paid as the parents. Paying students to go to school contribute directly to the economy, and this is a socially correct thing to do.
Now, as my previous speakers have mentioned, if you instantly gratify these people with payment, their motivations will only solely be money, which is wrong.
No, money is an additional reward to the system. We already give the student the chance to study, and now we're giving them additional positive reinforcement to make them study harder.
Okay, then let me tell you that you are my boss, right? So if I come in with no knowledge at all, not even intern, no knowledge at all, and you want me to be paid, doesn't make sense.
As your boss, which one makes you happier? Or even imagine I'm your mother, which one makes you happier? If I give you $100 or if I give you another tuition class? Jason, you say this whole thing doesn't make sense. Let me tell you it does, because Denmark is already doing this. CC, you're talking about child labor. Let me tell you about that. Positive reinforcement. If people are being rewarded for getting an education, more people will get education. That means what? Child labor will drastically reduce because parents from less fortunate family will send their kids to school. And to Thomas, back to you. From the kid's point of view, getting paid to go to school is a good reason to study hard. Let's be honest. How many kids truly understand when they are told you should study hard for your future? It is very abstract. It is more effective to reward their behavior with incentives rather than a philosophical idea. Okay, paying students to go to school contribute directly to the economy. And at Singapore, a country with limited resources, kids are our future and they're our owning asset. We should invest in our future.
First point. Denmark does not pay their students. Denmark gives free education. This helps people because this doesn't give people an instant gratification, which psychology has already proven that this sort of motivation does not work. You talk about it as additional. This sort of additional motivation doesn't work, so we can do without it, which is already working now. So the less fortunate in this case can also let their child go to school. And you're talking about going to school, yes, there are financial schemes for these people as well. Ecosystem for paying students doesn't work because tax goes highest. Poor families have to pay even more, right? So we're talking about stress. When you're stressed, if I just throw you money, does the stress go away? It doesn't. The proper way to do it is with support. And once we give this support, and as the graph showed, to give reward later, you maximize your potential. And with more potential, more worth for society, and this way, we all improve to a better society.
Yes!
Okay, it's done, and I'm sitting here very confused and very stressed, okay? So I don't know what to talk about. Okay, guys, both of you earlier, right, you said that you would rather be paid to go to school, right?
Sick.
So why, huh?
Being paid to go to school means that there's less struggle for my parents to provide for me and give me pocket money, especially if you come from a family like mine. I have like 2 other brothers, man. It's quite a GG scenario if you have to like keep paying them like $100 a week to go to school, for example. But like, I think it's also that all the money you would spend on the child's expenses could have been reallocated towards like enrichment classes, which would actually benefit the child, or like remedial classes if they're not doing so well.
Right. So if you were in their team, you would have fought for, how, this same pool of money could be arranged better.
Yeah, in the same way that they tried to argue on their side that the government could have spent or allocated the funds somewhere else to education, I would also reverse that argument on opportunity cost on their side.
Right. Hirzie, what do you wish was a point that they brought up?
I think the motion which was students should be paid to go to school has to be really focused on the word paid, because paying, I think, is different from incentivized, which the blue team has substantially deconstructed what is being paid, determined what are the regulations of being paid. So I think on that end, a lot of you guys talked a lot about like positive reinforcement, motivation. These are incentivized. These are incentives, sorry. So then, like what Joel said, how would then this money benefit students?
I think for me, it is quite clear that this team got the harder side to argue for, right? And this side really had, Singapore, we have a very good ecosystem built up, so all you have to do is kind of say what is existing, right? So in a sense, that's easier. Whereas they have to rely on more research, and more imagination to see how you can reverse a really stable ecosystem. So I would say that, because of that, I can't say who is better or who is whatever for me, because both teams have, their different levels of difficulty to handle this. So I'm quite on the fence. Okay, so we are ready to see which team won. KK drum roll. In 3, 2, 1.
Shit! I need to go!
Wait. I don't want to dampen your spirits, but if, right, like we have to give a score, right? You guys won by just 1 point. Like it's a 50 to 51, and he will explain why.
So I think that there's a major contradiction in Blue's case, because on one hand, Blue's claims that this is about you guys trying to promote child labor, but at the same time, they say that on your side, you're paying them for doing nothing. So it cannot be simultaneously true that there is no output, because child labor, right, suggests that you are forcing children to perform some activity to have commercial output. But you then characterize them by saying that, but you guys are paying them for doing nothing. They are doing no like economic activity that's worth paying for, and therefore there's a bit of a tension in the case of the opposition, because those two claims cannot simultaneously exist.
Yes, so you have really valid points, but this was a very big flaw that if they spotted it, you die gao lat one. Yeah.
Kishan talked a lot about positive reinforcement, which I think you're trying to say incentivize to stay in school. And that's a good point to have, because if, let's say, kids have more reason to come to school, there'll be less dropouts as well. But that was a point you didn't bring up, and that was something I wish you brought up. And then on Nicholas' point, you brought out a lot about motivation and toy cars. What I like that you brought up, and I wish you substantiate further, is the concept of good students versus bad students. But then the whole rebuttal I'll give you is that what happens to the bad students? It's easy enough for me to just enroll myself, be a bad student, just turn out and get paid. Lingyi mirrored, like how CC mirrored child labor to payment, you mirrored slavery to volunteer, which I don't think it works, because slaves are being taken from their environments to force a service, where students get a gift of knowledge and skill sets. So I also don't think it's acceptable to mirror slavery to getting payment lah. One thing I hate that the red team did a lot was you guys kept saying that Singapore is a country without resources and therefore you need motivation. Because then, if Singapore is a country with very little resources, why are we wasting our money like being paying students? And that was the one thing I wish you guys didn't say too much of. Thank you!
Oh, solid.
That's why he's the judge.
This is why he's a judge.
Yeah,
honestly.
yeah.
This is why we got him. This is solid.
So it is a well-deserved win still for the blue team. I feel very sad, okay, because now it's the saddest part. The red team has to vote someone out.
We'll be back after this break.
Actually, I don't think any of us were the worst speaker on this team. Like, to me, Jason should have been voted out, but they won, unfortunately. My vote actually is quite unpopular. I'll vote Lingyi out because I think her delivery was not as great and that we actually have a lot of better rebuttals to come up with and she didn't help us close it up.
I really need Kishan for the next round because his topic is solid and nobody else can deliver better. But I do feel that he can't rebuttal at all. So I'm voting for Kishan.
I think the strongest player in our team is Lingyi and we need to keep her in. So based on the last round, I think I'll vote Nick out because I don't think storytelling is going to help us win any more rounds after this. Sorry, Nick.
Wow, this was an exciting one to watch from our perspective because there was one vote, and then 4 votes for one person, right? And the strange thing was between the judges, right? We thought that the 4 votes person was in fact our favorite in the team.
Kishan.
Right. So this is a very strange result to
Deliberate, lah.
Huh? But okay, Lingyi, you are safe.
Don't make them stand. You gotta make them stand.
Don't do this.
Stand. The other two stand in the middle.
Later they
The knees are not
faint.
working at this point in time, so
You
please.
see, he's gonna faint already. Kishan and Nicholas, one of you is out. And the person that got 4 votes for him to go is Nicholas.
So it's tough, but I'm voting for Nick. I'm sad.
I'm sorry, bro. I love you, but Nick, I have to vote you out. Because I think your delivery was a bit slightly weaker than Kishan. But, man, I hope we can keep you, but I'm sorry, man. Bye, Nick.
I'm gonna vote Nick out because I felt like his argument wasn't very strong, but nothing personal, okay?
Go, baby!
Oh my god!
Wow, this is tough. But I personally really feel that I shouldn't have been the one to be voted out in terms of potential or future episodes. And maybe my team failed to see that, or we wanted to keep other people, but yeah, it's just too bad.
Hey, y'all have revival card eh?
No, but if we use now, we cannot use for the rest of the series, right?
Yeah.
Cannot.
It's too early.
Yeah.
But he's your MVP.
Triple
He's your MVP.
From the way they did their justified their votes, right? It seems that they had an issue with teamwork. So like they expected Nick to do something specific. Nick did not deliver. But from the judge's perspective, Nick's speech was good because he made a tactical decision to focus on illustrating a lot of the things that were being talked about in terms of why we should invest in children specifically, since like Singapore has no natural resources, things like that.
Use the revival card.
Oh no, please don't.
But it's one revival card.
Don't waste it.
Yeah, but he's your MVP.
Because next round, I'm gonna kick Thomas out.
They're pressuring me to bring
Because
Nick
what we're bringing
back.
up is, if we bring all 9 contestants back, would Nick make top 3?
No.
I think so.
It's on you, Sylvia. I think so.
No. My top
Nick,
3
if
now.
you see this, Sylvia had the revival choice lah.
Why is it always on me?
Wait,
The
Sylvia,
last episode is
finish
always
your
on-
sentence. I really want to know your topic.
Well, Sylvia, you have to make a decision on this revival card.
Yes.
Huh?
No.
It's a no, yes!
Sit down
I
lah.
mean, yes, it's my turn. Right?
Oh my god, come on.
To put on a new perspective, because that's what master debating is all about. In my position as a host and a judge, right? I do not agree that Nicholas is the most entertaining person in this series. Right? He might be a great debater, but it's also too early to say that he can carry this team. right, it's too early for me to use a revival card on somebody I'm now saying that he has potential. So, we are not using the revival card.
Too bad. Ayya.
So with this very depressing news, it sucks to deliver depressing news. It's already 2020. We will see you in the next episode of MasterDebater, and let us know, okay, in the comments below, would you have revived Nick knowing that you have only one revival card for the entire series?
Master Debate with us next week.
Okay, honestly, I think I'm probably one of the top speakers in my team. If you look at it from an episode-wise, I feel like Lingyi should have gone that round because her delivery just wasn't convincing enough. And she was put in a position where she could have helped us to rebut a lot more stronger points that I brought up when we were strategizing, but she just didn't deliver in the end. I think it's a huge loss for them, and it's sad that the judges didn't revive me at all.
Next time on MasterDebater.
Everybody should be matchmade by their mother.
So is your mom still gonna wipe your ass at 50 years old?
Oh no, bitch! Don't break me!